Am I the a-hole for lying to my coworkers that I moved far away so I wouldn't have to give them a ride home anymore? I work at a restaurant or diner near my university campus, and the majority of my coworkers are international students without a car, those being our cooks, while the 3 other servers have cars. I started a year ago, and ever since I got my car, they've been non-stop asking for rides home. When we close the store at around 10:30 p.m., it'll be 1 to 2 people per ride every time, and they used to ask hours in advance before we clocked out and were ready to go home. I would reluctantly agree because I have a keyholder-like position, and I have to stay and lock up the store and set the alarm and watch everyone leave. It's either we clock out in time after they ask me for a ride home, or we're waiting about 20 minutes past close for some ride they called. Over time, I thought this would go away, but our boss continues to hire more and more international students without a car, and I think the others tell them I give rides, and it's become expected of me from the coworkers, to the point they won't even ask me for a ride until we clock out, and I thought their other ride was here because they didn't mention it at all to me. Nobody has ever offered me gas money or any compensation for driving them home. Even if it's on my way home, it's still gas, time, and I have to force conversation when I'm extremely tired and worn out because they won't stop talking. One of our other servers mentioned they probably don't even understand to give me gas money because they're from India, and they didn't even know until recently you're supposed to tip servers and food delivery people. But a few weeks ago, I went on a 3-week trip to Japan, and I have no idea how these people have been getting home. First day I come back, me and this other girl clock out, and we're walking to the door, and she asks, "Do you remember where I live?" And I said, "What?" And she's like, "Can you drive me home?" And I just flat out lied and said I moved 40 minutes away and I need to go home. She was shocked I said no and started calling everyone she knew, and nobody got her, and then begged me to drive her home, saying it's only 10 minutes away. I had to drive her home. No gas money compensation. Nothing. All the other servers know I'm lying and they fully agree, but I think some of the cooks caught on, and they're really upset with me because I'm known as like the really nice one to work with. Quiet, does their job, doesn't really manage that much even if I'm a little more in charge than most people. Am I the a-hole?
Here are the top comments, plus Opie's reply.
Not the a-hole for not giving rides, but a little bit of one for lying about it. Just be honest that you don't want to do it.
OP replied,
"Yeah, you're right. It just felt awkward saying the truth because it's such a small little work group and everyone talks. I'll probably tell them eventually."
Not the a-hole. You made the mistake of letting it creep up until everyone became entitled, even the onlookers, and when that happens, they will get angry when you stop doing the favor you were never obligated to do in the first place, because in their minds, it somehow has magically become an obligation simply through repetition. You always do it, so you should do it. You're bad if you don't. This is a predictable pattern and something you should be very aware of from now on. Start exactly as you mean to go on, because this is what happens if you don't. You always need to extrapolate several steps ahead to think of what will predictably happen if you go along with or say yes to something like this.
OP replied,
"Yeah, I made a huge mistake. I love the unpaid taxi driver word too. About to put it in my resume as a volunteer service." Haha.